So the Cleveland reporters finally asked Dillon Gabriel the narrative that's been spinning around his name. You know, he processed the information completely better than the rest.
Dillon Gabriel just found out Shedeur Sanders merch sold out faster than free Beyonce tickets, and now he's fuming like someone stole his NIL deal and his lunch. How did Shedeur go from quarterback to fashion icon while Dillon's shirts are collecting dust like Blockbuster DVDs? Is this about talent, branding, or just better hair? Stick around because this quarterback rivalry just went from turf war to merch war, and somebody's ego is about to get intercepted.
Great question, because you always want results, but I think more than anything, it's consistent results. So if you don't have a process you can truly hang your hat on, then you're leaving it up to chance, or maybe it's more inconsistent rather than having a strong process. And of course, you know how the game of football goes. There's a lot of positives. There may be some negatives, but there's also something to priding yourself on your process and how you work and how you approach it. And for me, I think you build up that process and you want to see results, and it will come. And definitely know that, like I just said, it's a results-based business, so you got to go do it. And that's why we always talk about no excuses.
Picture this. Dillon Gabriel, Oklahoma quarterback turned Oregon Duck, staring blankly at his phone like it just insulted his throwing mechanics. Because it might as well have. The headlines are brutal. The numbers even worse. Shedeur Sanders merch, gone, vanished, sold out faster than Coachella tickets in a midlife crisis. Meanwhile, Dillon's gear is collecting dust in a forgotten warehouse next to unsold Beanie Babies and expired Gatorade.
I feel bad for Dillon Gabriel. No matter what this man does in Cleveland, no matter what, he will always be overshadowed by Shedeur Sanders as long as they're both there. I don't care if he comes out here and he wins the starting job. He has one bad game. Guess what they're going to say? Guess what the media is going to say? Shedeur should play. Put Shedeur in the game. Gabriel got drafted 2 rounds ahead of Shedeur. 2 rounds ahead of him. I mean, it shouldn't have happened, but 2 rounds ahead of him. And he's going to come in, and there's no chance in this world that he's higher than Shedeur on the depth chart.
It wasn't supposed to be like this. Dillon had it all lined up. He transferred, got the playbook, the hype, a solid Instagram following, even if half of them are bots from Jakarta. And he dropped that merch like it was supposed to be the Nike Off-White collab of the college football world. Instead, it landed like a knockoff hoodie from a gas station clearance rack. Now enter Shedeur Sanders, the man, the myth, the son of Coach Prime himself. A quarterback with more swagger than a crypto bro at a tech conference. And let's be honest, he didn't just launch a merch line, he launched a movement. Limited edition hoodies, snapbacks with enough attitude to file for their own NIL deal, and shirts that basically scream, "I'm better than your quarterback and your therapist knows it." Shedeur sold out in minutes. Dillon, let's just say his mom bought 2 hoodies and even she asked for a refund.
This Cleveland Browns QB situation is absolutely strange. It's very, very weird. But also what's weird is this report about Shedeur Sanders in the CFL. The Toronto Argonauts of the CFL have added Shedeur Sanders to their negotiation list per TSN. The Browns drafted Shedeur Sanders, but in the event that Sanders decided to pursue an opportunity to play in the CFL, the Argonauts have the first choice to acquire him. That is wild. That is absolutely ridiculous.
You can feel Dillon's frustration through the internet. It's like he just found out his fantasy football team auto-drafted 4 kickers. He did everything right, or at least he thought he did. He posed with the merch, gave the smolder, threw in a TikTok where he lip-synced to Drake and gave it the old QB1 stare. But the only thing that went viral was the comment section, and it wasn't pretty.
A rookie quarterback that should get the start for their team would be?
Guys, Shedeur Sanders, this is a no-brainer.
Really?
Wait, Jeff, I want you to take some copious notes here. Since 2000, there's only been 6 quarterbacks start a game under 6 feet tall. That's Russell Wilson, Kyler Murray, Bryce Young, P.J. Walker, Seneca Wallace, and Doug Flutie. Exactly. So to me, even though Dillon Gabriel won in the 3rd round, I would start Shedeur Sanders, let him fight it out on the field, but to me, Shedeur Sanders has the better pro body and more of an upside.
I promise everybody.
Let's talk design. Shedeur's merch looks like it was conjured by Virgil Abloh in a dream. Streetwear meets swagger. Dillon's? It's giving more high school pep rally meets regional insurance seminar. One of his shirts literally says, "Grit and grind" in Comic Sans. Comic Sans, y'all. Somewhere a graphic designer just threw their laptop out the window. And it's not just about clothes, it's about branding. Shedeur is a brand. He walks into a room and Wi-Fi signals get stronger. He speaks and sunglasses materialize on people's faces. He doesn't do press conferences, he does red carpets. Meanwhile, Dillon is trying to get noticed like a middle child at a family reunion. 5 people joined. 2 were his burner accounts. 1 was a confused grandmother trying to FaceTime her dog, and someone commented, "Who dis?"
I don't either. Like, what kind of long jump Carl Lewis leap are we making here? They traded up to wreck his career. That's how diabolical the Browns are. They traded up so that they could say, screw the Sanders family. We're going to show him. Yeah, we're going to run a ball into the ground. What he's very clearly saying for anybody with a lick of common sense is when they left the building Friday night, they didn't think he was going to be there in the 5th round. They had already had their quarterback. Of course they weren't still going to consider taking another quarterback.
The merch market has spoken, and it said, "We want Shedeur, not discount dry fit with a motivational quote that sounds like it came from a vending machine fortune." Some say Dillon took it personally. Others say he took it extremely personally. Word is he started showing up to practice in full Shedeur merch just to study the enemy. He claimed it was for research, but teammates caught him practicing autographs with an extra S in his name. He even tried to remix his brand, rebranded himself as DG the Dual Threat. Dropped a music video one guy offered to buy a shirt just to use it as a rag for his car. Meanwhile, Shedeur was out here selling keychains with his initials on them for $50 a pop, and fans were lining up. One woman reportedly traded her wedding ring for a Shedeur beanie. Her husband understood. It got to the point where Dillon had to host a raffle. Buy one shirt, get entered to win a personal FaceTime call. He ended up FaceTiming his cousin. Again. She hung up halfway through to take another call from her dentist.
Now we're gonna talk some real football here. 2 third-string quarterbacks, you saying, right? Shedeur or Dillon. If I'm the owner.
As of now, yeah.
If I'm an owner, everywhere we talking about a 5th round draft pick, so y'all saying, if they the same, why would I keep the 3rd rounder? I can find him anywhere. Nobody talks about Dillon. I'm talking about the business part of it. The 5th rounder I got, the 5th rounder I have, he's talked about everywhere. He's low-key a new icon, like a young icon type dude. Real talk.
And while all this is happening, Shedeur is dropping collabs with NBA players, appearing on magazine covers, and allegedly turning down a reality show because it didn't match his aesthetic. His aesthetic, by the way, is 70% gold chains, 30% effortless domination. Dillon tried to fight back. He started giving locker room speeches about brotherhood, perseverance, and how it's not about who sells the most hoodies, but who leaves it all on the field. It was heartfelt. It was powerful. The team cried. Then they all went out and bought Shedeur socks. You know it's bad when the water boy walks past you in Shedeur branded slides. Shedeur's merch is now being resold at 5 times the original price. A used Shedeur hoodie recently sold on eBay for $400 and a signed apology from an Alabama fan. Meanwhile, Dillon's shirts are being used as kindling for tailgate bonfires. So what did Dillon do? He pivoted. He launched a new line called Legacy in Progress. Sounds inspirational. Looks like it was designed by someone who just discovered Canva. The shirt has a silhouette of a quarterback throwing a pick 6.
First of all, I don't hate Dillon Gabriel. When you're assessing him as a quarterback in the National Football League, I tell the truth, he's a scrub. If I'm assessing him during the college football situations, then he's a game manager. That's not a diss. Alex Smith was the #1 pick. He was an overrated game manager, but I still liked him too. But I don't see Dillon as an NFL caliber. The embarrassment for these reporters to bring out and talk about this processing information, I've been hearing it a lot and I've been reluctant to talk about it, but let's talk about it since Dillon Gabriel is out here.
To make matters worse, a prankster at Oregon printed fake Shedeur greater than Dillon stickers and slapped them on every locker. Dillon peeled his off and stuck it on his water bottle. Irony is a cruel mistress. The coaches tried to console him, told him he was a leader, an asset, the kind of player every team needs. Then they all posted selfies in Shedeur's merch. The strength coach even dyed his beard to match the limited edition Shedeur hoodie color scheme, Platinum Frost. At a team fundraiser, someone donated $5,000 just to keep Dillon's merch off the shelves. The caption said, "Let the man focus on football." Dillon, bless his heart, still believes. Still posts, still hashtags rise and grind. But the grind is mostly just rising resentment. Every time Shedeur drops a new line, Dillon drops a new tear into his protein shake. At a post-game presser, a reporter asked about his thoughts on the merch sales. He smiled, with handwritten notes of apology. Shedeur responded by casually giving away signed footballs to fans wearing his merch at rival stadiums. One kid burst into tears. Another said he'd never wash again. Dillon once gave away a signed jersey, and the recipient used it to wipe mustard off his hot dog.
A lot of people are saying right now that Shedeur Sanders is being set up for failure, trying to sabotage his NFL career by starting him in week 1 against the Panthers. Now, there's a couple things I can say right now. Look, at the end of the day, they got 4 quarterbacks that are going to be able to play on the roster right now. They got Shedeur Sanders, who's going to be starting against the Panthers in preseason opener. Then they got Joe Flacco, over 40 years old. They got Kenny Pickett, who's hurt, and they got Dillon Gabriel, who's hurt. So obviously, he's got to be the guy. Shedeur Sanders has to be the guy for week 1. The question is, why hasn't he gotten any reps?
In a final act of defiance, Dillon held a pop-up shop outside the stadium. Nobody came. A tumbleweed rolled by wearing a Shedeur cap. He called his dad, asked for advice. His dad told him to maybe try accounting or podcasting or TikTok dancing, anything but merchandising. Now, there are rumors, rumblings, that Dillon might join forces with another overlooked QB and launch a joint line, Almost Elite. Tagline, close enough to greatness to see it from here. Still, he shows up. Game day, helmet on, eyes focused, merch irrelevant. Because at the end of the day, he's still slinging passes, still moving chains, still dreaming, and somewhere in a dusty corner of the internet, one of his shirts finally sold. Just when Dillon thought things couldn't get more humiliating, a group of freshman interns at the campus bookstore mistook his unsold merch for free giveaway inventory. They stacked the boxes next to lost and found flip-flops and a crusty box of fidget spinners from 2017. One intern even whispered, "Wow, vintage."
Shedeur, we're doing it for Shedeur Sanders, guys, because what happened to him was not cool. So we are going to support Shedeur in his career in the NFL. His jersey sold more jerseys than any of the other draft picks. I am being told this. My sports peeps are telling me he's setting records already. Do you guys think he will be a star in the NFL? Or will he go down like a Manziel? Will he Johnny Manziel the situation? Or will he step up to primetime? Is he primetime junior like his daddy?
To make matters worse, Shedeur's new fragrance line dropped with a cinematic trailer. Picture this: slow motion strut, thunder in the background, an eagle screech, and Shedeur tossing a football into the sun while a narrator murmurs, "Dominate your destiny." Meanwhile, Dillon's marketing team released a boomerang of him tying his shoelaces. It's hard to compete when your rival's promotional video looks like it was directed by Christopher Nolan and yours was filmed by your roommate on an iPhone 8 with a cracked lens. By now, even Dillon's dog was wearing Shedeur gear. It wasn't on purpose. The neighbor's kid just accidentally dropped it in Dillon's yard, but the symbolism hit hard. The dog wouldn't take it off. Looked proud even. At one point, Dillon tried to infiltrate the Shedeur fanbase. A 60-foot-tall Shedeur flex in his signature hoodie captioned with "Icon status confirmed." Dillon drove past it every morning, swore he could hear it laughing.
Look, Shedeur Sanders' legendary merch is sold out. And he has the highest selling rookie jersey. They haven't even confirmed his number yet, and his jerseys are selling out. I don't know if they sold out, but yeah, they're selling fast. Put it like that. See, the NFL really thought they was doing something by lying on him and tanking his draft stock, didn't they? They really thought they were doing something. And the guy pranked them thinking he was doing something, thinking it was funny. It wasn't funny when your daddy got that $100,000 fine, was it?
It became a meme. Students posed under it wearing Dillon's merch as a joke, called it reverse clout. Some dude even went viral for wearing one of Dillon's hoodies, ironically, while proposing to his girlfriend. She said yes, to the ring, not the hoodie. That was set on fire during the after party. Desperate times call for desperate branding. Dillon's new campaign? Built different. The campaign video featured dramatic piano music, clips of him bench pressing sadness, and a slow pan over a closet full of unsold hats. Spoiler alert, it didn't work. Sales stayed flatter than a Midwest highway. Then came the documentary. 5 of them were Dillon refreshing the page. You can't blame the guy for trying. He started giving motivational speeches in classrooms, told kids to never give up, even when their merch ends up in the 99-cent bin. One kid raised his hand and asked, "Is it true your hoodies shrink in the wash?" Dillon excused himself and never returned.
Roll call. I'm calling all the Shedeur Sanders trolls that was in my comments over this weekend. Come to the front real quick. Got some news for you. Name 1/5 5th-round draft pick. Okay? 5th-round draft pick. Matter of fact, a number 144th draft pick that has the top selling NFL jerseys after the draft. Name one. That's what I thought. That's what I thought.
At the next pep rally, they held a most likely to go pro vote. Shedeur won in a landslide. Dillon got most likely to start a podcast called Nobody Believed in Me. Even the mascot voted against him. His teammates tried to stay supportive. They said things like, "You're grinding, bro," and "That mustard stain kind of looks like a logo." One guy suggested a collaboration with the school cafeteria. Maybe brand your merch as durable napkins? The campus fashion club held a QB drip-off. Shedeur didn't even show up. His merch walked the runway on its own. Dillon arrived in full gear, did a runway spin, and the crowd mistook it for a halftime comedy sketch. One of them went for $1,000 on eBay and came with a QR code to a hype video featuring dolphins, flames, and Shedeur riding a golden scooter. Dillon, meanwhile, got a notification that someone left a 2-star review on his merch site. The complaint? Shirt felt like sadness.
Shedeur is starting because they don't want to put their starting quarterback out at risk. But here's the thing. If he goes out and he just sucks, there will be no grace. Everybody will freak out about it. If he plays lights out, oh my God. I think, honestly, Shedeur starting is a lose-lose for Shedeur. It's a lose-lose for the Browns. And they're only doing it because they have no other option.
So Shedeur Sanders, who hasn't taken one snap with the starting offense, is being asked to go against a starting NFL defense in his first NFL action. If Shedeur Sanders plays well, I will be so impressed. And at that point, the Browns need to be looking around saying, wow, that was impressive, and we need to maybe take a closer look at him. That's why it's good for Shedeur Sanders.
Still, there's a certain nobility to Dillon's persistence. He doesn't quit, not even after the student radio station roasted his merch line for 3 straight hours. Not after a campus prankster taped closeout sale signs on his locker. Not even after he launched a giveaway where the prize was 5 hoodies, and the winner messaged back, "No thanks." He tried to remix his entire image, grew a mustache, said it was part of his rebrand. Someone replied, "You look like a substitute teacher who gives out worksheets in trauma." He shaved it the next day. Shedeur's merch empire kept growing. Hats, slides, Prime Sun cologne, even branded water. Yes, Shedeur water, marketed as hydration that wins. Dillon sarcastically tweeted, "Launching mine next. It's called Tears." The tweet got 3 likes. One was his backup kicker, until a Shedeur remix of the fight song debuted on Spotify and hit 100,000 streams in a day. The final straw? A grandma on campus wearing a Shedeur scarf who saw Dillon and told him, "I hope you make it in something else, sweetheart."
That this is a game. But when God has his hand on you, see, Shedeur is already in Cleveland doing his thing. He's already there to work and put in work so that he can be the best. But see, nobody wants to concentrate on those character traits. They want to just focus on lies. They're still lying on the man. They still in these comments lying. So I'm going to still keep this commentary about Shedeur going.
And yet, through all the roasted dreams and demolished drip, Dillon keeps showing up. Not for the merch, not for the fame, but because deep down, he still believes. Not that he'll outsell Shedeur, he's not delusional, but that one day, someone might actually wear his hoodie and not apologize for it. In a world of gold chains and sold-out hype, Dillon remains the unbothered underdog. Slightly bitter, fully broke, but undeniably still in the game. And hey, if nothing else, he can always sell his merch to ghosts of forgotten QBs. They might not pay, but at least they'll understand the pain.